control your emotional reactions with these 10 daily practices. In the silence of the early morning, when the world still sleeps, we rise. Not just physically from our beds, but mentally from the chaos that often ensnares the weak-hearted. We rise to face the day with a clarity that few understand, a clarity that comes from mastering ourselves, our emotions, our very essence. But how does one achieve this mastery? How do we, in the face of adversity, remain unmoved, like the towering oak in a storm? The answer lies not in some mystical practice, but in the ancient teachings of Stoicism, a way of life that calls us to transcend our base impulses and reach for something greater. Certainly, let's delve deeper into the first two practices. Begin with stillness and practice perception. 1. Begin with stillness. In the frantic pace of modern life, stillness has become a rare commodity. Yet it is in stillness that we find the clarity needed to navigate the complexities of our existence. To begin the day with stillness is to start from a place of calm, to lay the groundwork for how we will face the inevitable challenges ahead. This practice is not simply about sitting in silence. It is an intentional act of retreating into the inner sanctum of the mind. When we are still, we detach ourselves from the external world, even if just for a moment. This is where we confront our inner thoughts, unfiltered and raw. We listen to the whispers of our fears, the echoes of our anxieties, and in this confrontation, we begin the process of mastering them. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, spoke of the peace found within one's soul, a place untouched by the turmoil of the outside world. He wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." This inner peace is not something that is given to us, it is something we must cultivate daily. By beginning each day with stillness, we create a mental space that is fortified against the onslaught of external distractions. In this stillness, we also set our intentions for the day. What kind of person do we want to be? How do we wish to respond to the inevitable challenges? This quiet reflection allows us to align our actions with our values, ensuring that when we step out into the world, we do so with purpose and clarity. We are no longer reactive beings, but proactive architects of our day. The stillness serves as our anchor, keeping us grounded no matter what the day brings. 2. Practice perception. Perception is the lens through which we view the world, and it is through this lens that our reality is shaped. Events, by themselves, have no inherent power to disturb us. It is our perception of these events that dictates our emotional response. This is a cornerstone of Stoic thought, and mastering this understanding is key to emotional resilience. Epictetus, one of the most revered Stoic philosophers, emphasized this in his teachings. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This simple yet profound truth challenges us to take responsibility for our emotions. When we practice perception, we actively work to strip events of their emotional charge. We remind ourselves that the universe is indifferent to our preferences, and that it is our judgment, not the events themselves, that leads to suffering. Consider a situation where someone insults you. The insult, in itself, is just words, a sequence of sounds that hold no power. Yet, if you perceive these words as a personal attack, your emotions flare up. Anger, hurt, and resentment take hold, not because of the insult, but because of your interpretation of it. By practicing perception, we train ourselves to pause and examine these interpretations. We ask, is this truly worth my emotional energy? Does this event warrant the reaction it's provoking in me? This practice is not about suppressing emotions, but about understanding and guiding them. We learn to see events as they are, neutral occurrences, rather than through the distorting lens of our biases, fears, and desires. Over time, this shifts our default reactions from impulsive to deliberate. We become less like a leaf blown by the wind and more like a rock, steadfast and unmoved by the storm. Through daily practice, perception becomes a powerful tool in our arsenal for emotional control. We learn that while we cannot control what happens to us, we have full control over how we interpret and respond to it. This realization is liberating, empowering us to face life with a calm and steady mind, no matter what challenges arise. By mastering stillness and perception, we lay the foundation for a life guided by reason and virtue, rather than by the whims of external events or transient emotions. Together, these practices help us to transcend the chaos of the world, achieving a state of inner peace and unshakable resilience. Certainly, let's dive deeper into the concepts of cultivate indifference to external things and embrace voluntary discomfort to better understand how these practices shape our emotional resilience and fortitude. 3. Cultivate indifference to external things. At the heart of Stoicism lies the principle that true happiness and peace are found not in external circumstances, but within ourselves. The world around us is full of things that we cannot control: wealth, reputation, the opinions of others, even the actions of those we encounter daily. To allow our emotions to be governed by these external factors is to surrender our inner peace to forces beyond our control. This is where the practice of indifference comes in. When we cultivate indifference to external things, we are not dismissing their existence or their potential impact on our lives. Rather, we are recognizing that these things do not determine our worth, nor should they dictate our emotional state. This practice is a conscious decision to detach our sense of well-being from the fluctuating tides of fortune. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher who lived through both immense wealth and great personal loss, teaches us the importance of this detachment. He wrote, "He who is brave is free." Letters to Lucilius. The freedom Seneca speaks of is the freedom from being enslaved by external circumstances. When we cultivate indifference, we are no longer at the mercy of fate. Whether we gain or lose, succeed or fail, we remain steadfast, grounded in the knowledge that our true value lies within. This practice is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. It's about prioritizing what truly matters: our virtues, our character, our ability to act with integrity and wisdom. By focusing on what we can control: our thoughts, our actions, our responses, we liberate ourselves from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies the pursuit or loss of external things. In this way, we protect our peace of mind, maintaining equanimity regardless of the external events that swirl around us. 4. Embrace voluntary discomfort. In a world where comfort and convenience are often pursued as the ultimate goals, the idea of embracing voluntary discomfort may seem counterintuitive. Yet, this practice is a powerful tool in building resilience and fortitude. By deliberately subjecting ourselves to discomfort, we prepare our minds and bodies for the inevitable hardships that life will present. The Stoics believed that true strength is forged in adversity. When we willingly face discomfort, whether through physical challenges, fasting, or the denial of pleasures, we train ourselves to endure suffering without losing our composure. This practice helps us to build a tolerance for discomfort, reducing our fear of pain, and increasing our ability to remain calm and rational under pressure. Seneca, who often advised his readers to live a life of moderation and simplicity, encouraged the practice of voluntary discomfort as a way to fortify the soul. He wrote, "Set aside now and then a number of days during which you will be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, is this the condition that I feared?" Letters to Lucilius. By living as if we have nothing, we learn that the things we fear losing, luxuries, comfort, even status, are not as essential to our happiness as we might believe. This practice also serves as a reminder of our own resilience. When we voluntarily endure hardship, we come to realize that we are stronger than we often give ourselves credit for. The fear of discomfort begins to lose its hold on us, replaced by a sense of confidence in our ability to face whatever challenges come our way. Moreover, embracing discomfort fosters gratitude. When we return to our normal lives after a period of voluntary hardship, we gain a renewed appreciation for the simple comforts we often take for granted. This shift in perspective helps us to cultivate contentment, reducing our desire for more and teaching us to find joy in what we already have. In a broader sense, the practice of voluntary discomfort is about building mental and emotional resilience. It is a form of preparation, a way to ensure that when life inevitably tests us with real adversity, we are not only ready but capable of maintaining our dignity and composure. By embracing discomfort, we strengthen our ability to remain steadfast in the face of pain, loss, or hardship, key elements in the Stoic pursuit of a virtuous and fulfilling life. In these practices, indifference to external things and voluntary discomfort, we find the tools to master our emotions, to rise above the distractions and temptations of the world, and to cultivate a life of inner strength and peace. Together, they teach us that true power lies not in controlling the world around us, but in mastering ourselves. Certainly, let's delve deeper into the concepts of reflect on mortality and rehearse negative visualization, two practices central to Stoic philosophy that help us build emotional resilience and cultivate a profound appreciation for life. 5. Reflect on mortality. The practice of reflecting on mortality, often referred to as memento mori, is a powerful reminder of the impermanence of life. While the thought of death may seem grim or unsettling to many, the Stoics viewed it as an essential part of living a meaningful life. To reflect on mortality is not to dwell morbidly on death, but to recognize it as an inevitable reality that shapes how we live our lives. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, urged himself to consider the transient nature of all things, consider how quickly all things are dissolved, and resolve the bodies and substances themselves into the elements, and the very memories of them into time and fate. Meditations. By acknowledging that our time on earth is finite, we are encouraged to live each day with purpose, intention, and urgency. This practice strips away the distractions and trivial concerns that often consume us, bringing into sharp focus what truly matters: our actions, our relationships, and our pursuit of virtue. Reflecting on mortality also has a humbling effect. It reminds us that regardless of our wealth, power, or status, we all share the same ultimate fate. This awareness fosters a sense of humility and encourages us to live in harmony with others, treating each moment as a precious opportunity to contribute positively to the world around us. Moreover, this practice helps us confront our fears. Death, for many, is the ultimate fear, the great unknown. But by regularly contemplating it, we desensitize ourselves to its power, transforming fear into acceptance. The Stoics believed that fearing death was irrational because it is a natural part of life, no different from being born. By making peace with this reality, we free ourselves from the anxiety that often accompanies the fear of death, allowing us to live more fully and courageously. In essence, reflecting on mortality is a call to live with greater awareness and gratitude. It reminds us that our time is limited, urging us not to waste it on trivialities but to focus on what truly enriches our lives and the lives of others. In doing so, we cultivate a deep sense of purpose and a profound appreciation for the gift of life. 6. Rehearse negative visualization. Negative visualization, also known as premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, is a Stoic practice that involves imagining the worst possible outcomes before they happen. This is not an exercise in pessimism, but a strategic way to prepare the mind for potential challenges, thereby reducing their emotional impact. The concept is rooted in the understanding that by mentally rehearsing potential hardships, we can fortify ourselves against the shock and distress they might cause. Seneca, a master of this technique, advised, "He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand." Letters to Lucilius. By anticipating difficulties, whether it's the loss of a loved one, a financial setback, or a personal failure, we can diminish their ability to catch us off guard. When we have already considered the possibility of such events, we are better equipped to handle them with composure and resilience. Rehearsing negative visualization does not mean dwelling in a state of constant dread or becoming emotionally detached. Instead, it's about building mental toughness and ensuring that we are not overly dependent on favorable outcomes. By considering what could go wrong, we train ourselves to face adversity without being overwhelmed by it. This practice also has the added benefit of enhancing our appreciation for the present. When we imagine losing something we hold dear, we become more aware of its value in our lives. For instance, if we contemplate the possibility of losing our health, we are more likely to cherish and take care of our well-being in the present. This awareness leads to a deeper sense of gratitude and a more mindful approach to life, where we don't take our blessings for granted. Additionally, negative visualization helps to reduce the sting of disappointment. Life is unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable. By mentally preparing for these possibilities, we can soften the blow when things don't go as planned. This doesn't mean we expect or wish for the worst, but rather that we are prepared to face it with equanimity if it occurs. In a broader sense, negative visualization is about embracing the full spectrum of life's experiences, the good and the bad, and recognizing that both are necessary for our growth. It teaches us to be resilient, adaptable, and to maintain our inner balance regardless of external circumstances. By regularly practicing this technique, we develop a mindset that is not only prepared for life's challenges, but also deeply appreciative of life's gifts. Together, reflecting on mortality and rehearsing negative visualization form a powerful duo in the Stoics' toolkit for emotional resilience. They remind us of the impermanence of life and the inevitability of hardship, encouraging us to live with greater intention, gratitude, and strength. In embracing these practices, we equip ourselves to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and wisdom, remaining grounded in the face of adversity. Certainly. Let's explore the practices of practice deliberate speech and cultivate gratitude in greater depth, focusing on how they contribute to emotional resilience, inner peace, and a virtuous life. 7. Practice deliberate speech. Speech is a powerful tool, capable of creating harmony or discord, understanding or confusion, peace or conflict. In Stoic philosophy, the practice of deliberate speech involves choosing our words with intention and care, recognizing the impact they have not only on others, but also on ourselves. This practice teaches us to speak only when necessary, to speak truthfully, and to speak in a way that is constructive and aligned with virtue. The Stoics believed that words should serve a purpose, and that purpose should be guided by reason. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, advised, keep silence for the most part, and speak only when you must, and then briefly. This advice encourages us to avoid idle chatter and unnecessary conversations, which often lead to misunderstandings, gossip, or conflict. By speaking deliberately, we ensure that our words contribute positively to the situations we find ourselves in, rather than adding to the noise or chaos. Practicing deliberate speech also involves being mindful of the tone and content of our words. It's about speaking with kindness, respect, and wisdom. This doesn't mean we avoid difficult conversations or sugarcoat the truth, but rather that we approach such conversations with the intent to heal, educate, or improve, rather than to harm or belittle. By doing so, we strengthen our relationships and create an environment of trust and mutual respect. Moreover, deliberate speech requires us to be mindful of the timing of our words. There are moments when silence is more powerful than speech, when listening is more important than talking. The Stoics understood the value of restraint and the importance of allowing others to speak and be heard. By practicing this restraint, we not only avoid unnecessary conflict, but also learn to control our impulses, which is a key aspect of emotional resilience. This practice also extends to our internal dialogue, the way we speak to ourselves. The Stoics believe that our thoughts shape our reality, and therefore, we must be careful with how we speak to ourselves internally. Practicing deliberate speech internally means rejecting negative self-talk, avoiding harsh criticism of ourselves, and instead, fostering a mindset of growth, learning, and self-compassion. In summary, Practicing deliberate speech is about aligning our words with our values and using them as a force for good. It teaches us to think before we speak, to choose our words wisely, and to use them in a way that uplifts ourselves and others. By mastering our speech, we take a significant step toward mastering our emotions and living a life of virtue and integrity. 8. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, a practice that not only enriches our lives but also fortifies us against the trials and tribulations we inevitably face. Cultivating gratitude involves actively recognizing and appreciating the good in our lives, no matter how small, and acknowledging the gifts we receive from the world and from others. For the Stoics, gratitude was more than just a fleeting feeling. It was a deliberate practice that required daily attention. Seneca, in his letters, often emphasized the importance of gratitude, stating, "He who receives a benefit with gratitude repays the first installment on his debt." This reflects the Stoic belief that gratitude is a reciprocal virtue. It not only enriches the receiver but also ennobles the giver. By expressing gratitude, we create a cycle of positive energy that benefits both ourselves and those around us. Cultivating gratitude also shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. In a world that constantly pushes us to desire more wealth, more success, more possessions, gratitude serves as an antidote to dissatisfaction. It reminds us to appreciate the present moment, to find contentment in the simple pleasures of life, and to recognize the abundance that already surrounds us. This mindset reduces the emotional turmoil that comes from constant striving and comparison, bringing us closer to a state of inner peace. Moreover, gratitude is a powerful tool in building resilience. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the positive aspects of our experiences, even in difficult times. This doesn't mean we ignore or downplay the challenges we face, but rather that we choose to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often reflected on the things he was grateful for, even when faced with adversity. This practice helped him maintain his composure and sense of purpose, even in the most trying of circumstances. Gratitude also fosters a sense of interconnectedness. By recognizing the contributions of others to our well-being, we become more aware of our place within the larger community. This awareness helps to cultivate humility, as we acknowledge that we are not entirely self-sufficient, but are supported by the efforts of others' family, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. This interconnectedness strengthens our relationships and encourages us to contribute positively to the lives of others. To cultivate gratitude, the Stoics often engaged in daily practices such as keeping a gratitude journal, reflecting on the blessings of the day, or offering thanks to the gods or the universe. These practices are just as relevant today. By making gratitude a daily habit, we can transform our outlook on life, building a foundation of positivity and resilience that sustains us through both good times and bad. In conclusion, practicing deliberate speech and cultivating gratitude are vital components of a Stoic life. Deliberate speech helps us to communicate with integrity and purpose, while gratitude shifts our focus to the abundance in our lives, fostering contentment and resilience. Together, these practices guide us toward a life of greater emotional control, inner peace, and a deeper connection with ourselves and the world around us. Certainly, let's explore the practices of engage in continuous self-improvement and end the day with reflection in greater depth, focusing on how they contribute to a Stoic's pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and emotional resilience. 9. Engage in continuous self-improvement. The Stoics believed that life is a journey of constant growth, where the pursuit of wisdom and virtue is a never-ending process. Engaging in continuous self-improvement means dedicating oneself to the ongoing refinement of character, knowledge, and actions. This commitment to self-betterment is not about achieving perfection, but about striving to become the best version of oneself, day by day. For the Stoics, self-improvement was deeply tied to the development of the four cardinal virtues: wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Each day presents opportunities to cultivate these virtues, whether through our thoughts, decisions, or interactions with others. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on how he could align his actions more closely with these virtues, writing, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Continuous self-improvement begins with self-awareness, the ability to recognize our strengths and weaknesses. This requires honest introspection and a willingness to confront our flaws without self-deception. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher who was once a slave, emphasized the importance of knowing oneself, stating, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." This means setting clear goals for the kind of person we want to become, and then taking deliberate steps to move closer to that ideal. One key aspect of self-improvement in Stoicism is the concept of prohairesis, or the power of choice. The Stoics believe that while we cannot control external events, we can always control how we respond to them. By focusing on our internal responses, our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we can continually refine our character. This practice involves making conscious choices that align with our values, resisting impulses that lead us away from virtue, and learning from our mistakes. Continuous self-improvement also involves the pursuit of knowledge. The Stoics valued education and philosophical inquiry as tools for understanding the world and our place in it. Seneca, in his letters, encouraged lifelong learning, noting that as long as you live, keep learning how to live. This doesn't mean accumulating knowledge for its own sake, but rather seeking wisdom that can be applied to improve our lives and the lives of others. Importantly, Stoic self-improvement is not about self-centeredness or the pursuit of personal gain. It is about becoming a person who contributes positively to the world, who acts with justice, kindness, and integrity. The Stoics believe that by improving ourselves, we also improve our ability to serve others, creating a ripple effect of goodness. In essence, engaging in continuous self-improvement is about embracing the idea that there is always room for growth, that each day offers new opportunities to become wiser, stronger, and more virtuous. It's a practice that fosters humility, resilience, and a deep sense of purpose, guiding us toward a life of fulfillment and ethical living. 10. End the day with reflection. Ending the day with reflection is a practice deeply embedded in Stoic philosophy, known as the evening review. This practice involves taking time at the end of each day to reflect on our actions, thoughts, and behaviors, assessing where we succeeded and where we fell short. The goal is not to dwell on mistakes or to indulge in self-criticism, but to learn from the day's experiences and to set intentions for improvement. Seneca, in his letters, described his own evening practice of reflection when the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent. I examine my entire day and go back over what I have done and said, hiding nothing from myself, passing nothing by. This practice of daily review is a powerful tool for personal growth, allowing us to identify patterns in our behavior, recognize areas for improvement, and celebrate our successes. During this time of reflection, a Stoic might ask themselves several key questions. Did I act according to my values and virtues today? This question helps us evaluate whether our actions were aligned with our principles of wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Did I allow external events to disturb my inner peace? This encourages us to assess how well we maintained emotional control in the face of challenges or setbacks. What could I have done better? This question is about recognizing opportunities for growth and setting intentions for the following day. What did I do well? It's important to acknowledge and appreciate the moments when we acted with integrity and virtue, reinforcing positive behaviors. The evening reflection is also a time to practice gratitude, acknowledging the blessings and lessons of the day. By ending the day with a focus on gratitude, we foster a positive mindset that carries into the next day, helping us to maintain perspective and resilience. Moreover, this practice of reflection fosters humility. It reminds us that we are always a work in progress, that no matter how much we strive, there is always room for growth. This humility is a key component of Stoic wisdom, as it keeps us open to learning and self-improvement. Another important aspect of ending the day with reflection is that it prepares the mind for rest. By processing the events of the day, we can let go of any lingering stress or unresolved emotions, allowing us to sleep more peacefully. A well-rested mind is better equipped to face the challenges of the next day with clarity and composure. In summary, ending the day with reflection is a practice that integrates self-awareness, gratitude, and a commitment to continuous improvement. It helps us to stay grounded, to learn from our experiences, and to approach each new day with renewed purpose and intention. This practice is a cornerstone of Stoic living, guiding us toward a life of wisdom, virtue, and emotional resilience. These 10 practices are not mere exercises, they are the foundation upon which we build our lives. In following them, we do not simply react to the world, we shape our destiny. We, the followers of Stoicism, understand that true strength lies not in controlling others, but in mastering ourselves. In overcoming our destructive emotions, we become unbreakable, unshakable, invincible. We are the architects of our fate, the guardians of our peace, the masters of our souls. Before you go, if this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow and reach more people who, just like you, are on a journey towards self-mastery and inner strength. If you want to dive deeper into Stoic wisdom and learn more about how to harness it in your everyday life, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you'll never miss out on the powerful lessons and insights we share here. Together we can continue building a community of like-minded individuals, all striving to live with purpose, resilience, and true inner peace. Thank you for being a part of this journey.